There you go. Hello, hello, hello. This to talk about the voice within, and my daughter Debbie was talking about an exercise they did in therapy about talking with your inner child, and then the person said that it was that it felt that it had a split personality, like that it had to. So they bring other people to talk from these representations because there's an intelligence already that speaks by itself. It's kind of like intuitive work. There is no script. Nobody tells you how to report, but it moves by its own. One has to be there to understand it. So came with the idea of just, who knows if I'm alive or when I am with my children, to talk about my astrology chart, and at the same time we could see it together if we are, as soon as possible, get to understand that each character has also a voice that is totally different from other characters. So I wanted to explain it with an astrological chart. Could do it with psychological traits as well. Psychiatrist traits, whatever sounds more scientific. The planets do have that. Planets do have that emotion and texture through the tablet of the elements in science as well. One could believe or not. I see astrological charts not as astrologists do. I sometimes just talk with people and tell them anything, but I don't need anything just to draw something out of people, to draw something out of them. I don't need these forms, but it helps to use tools, I guess. Better quality. I mean, will help put myself prettier. I'm a little bit experimenting with this. So this, let's say, the voice of my real life character, right? The real life character of Patricia will have, I think I should pick a little more a simple character, and I need to think about it. Well, the location that it was born and the time is very important for the character, right? Yes! Why? Well, you can ask Einstein, or you can ask me. I'm the continuation of Einstein. Of course, I will have many people trying to copy my theory. Well, it's yet not been proven because I have not spoken about it. Like really, So, just chilling out. I don't see anything interesting online. So, my son in the first house is kind of like, yes, the first house is supposed to be whom you are. The thing is that that's where your ascendant is. So it's how you look in the outside. So my ascendant is not in the first house as everyone's normally is. It's in the last house, inches before, just getting there into the first house. But it's not the first house. Some people are in the middle. So not only that, I was born in the dawn when the sun set. So I have Neptune and Sagittarius there, and it's marked as my ascendant, right? So it is my ascendant, but I don't look like it. So I am, and that's why I love my privacy. I do not have like need to or to it's kind of like looks like magic or death or the occult. So Aquarius, well, Neptune is also related to death in different forms with other characteristics. I won't talk about it. So I do have a strong triangle there that is of 3 green. When they're green, they're supposed to be positive. But my astrological card, if you look at all the lines inside, they look like they're three-dimensional. It's like it's uplifting one triangle up from two two pools of energy, and they're coming from the same house, which is in the 10th, and it's coming from Uranus and on another planet as well. And both go straight into the middle of Cancer and Gemini with a positive, and the other one is positive as well. The thing is that it has another notation. So we have here a person that I forget who I am many times because I'm like, woo, right? So I look to be a Sagittarius. That's your ascendant. But whom you truly are is in the house of your sun. So it's like in your birthday, your sun, that's whom you are deep inside. So deep inside, I am, and I am very Capricorn. So sometimes people look at me like I look very adventurous or kind of crazy, but deep inside, I am down to the core and ambitious, slow, just working hard, just get up. So it's also with Mercury. Then you go to the second house, and I have Venus with Jupiter. So I'm gonna like my inner couple is fine. They always look in the conjunctions between Jupiter and Venus because they say Venus is the woman, and Jupiter is like the patriarch. Jupiter is like Zeus or the god of the gods. Even though Jupiter is run by Uranus, which is his father. Well, it's his grandfather, but they didn't put Cronus there. Is the father Uranus is the father of Cronus, who is the father of Zeus, which is Jupiter. So well, and it has a good connection with. So what? Then it has Then it has a bad connection with my moon in Leo. So my moon in Leo is also narcissist, but it's like it's said to like to be the center of attention. The moon in Leo, but it's also like the Gryffindor. It has the courage and the heart of a lion, because that is the moon in Leo, the heart of a lion, at least from my perspective. And I like everyone to feel within the kingdom of the lion's heart, whatever one is roaring or not. So I guess there is a bad influence there. Ha! I can be very. I guess is there. There is never like astrological chart where everything is positive. So they also have to draw these conjunctions or red lines. So I don't think it's really bad. It's just had to do it. So and some people who read this inner relations, like when you are pressing these notes with certain rhythms to get a musical symphony there, and you have this play that has this crescendo and this certain dynamics, call it like that, right? Relations. So you have the gravity of the voice as well. Yeah. So you see above as below, there is a lot of movement, and most of the lines are coming from above down, and the structure seems to be like lifting up from, it's like the foundations are being lifted up. Uranus represents ideas, let's say, like in the Lord of the Rings, it was sounds first, that idea, that sound, right? Well, even though it's been proven, nobody, but it needs to be by law. Then is proven for the outer world, the real world. So it's going to the house of, then this relation with, it's quite peculiar. There is Venus and Mars, which Mars is also with Taurus, and these have to do also. So it's also Mars with my Mars has a very negative attitude, and I like it as it is. It's like is where I get to think, and a state of like of, it's like I'm in a conflict. My mind is in a conflict with in the house of values, and the values that your family has given through centuries and that you will give to your children. So when I go and look in the astrology chart of my 3 children, they have a lot of values there. And my son Saint has like a lot of planets in that house. And with a lot of energy coming from my planet, there is Uranus. So it's like all these ideas are coming to him. And I thought, I hope that in the future it has prospered for them. And Alice's chart is very clear with a triangle, green, very simple and clear and beautiful. It's like, and Alice and Debbie have both a very clear, and that also means it's just is very simple with that clarity, and that's it. Yeah. So mine has a lot of work, structure, a lot of push, a lot of war. I've been I'm always promote confrontation. I always promote to face the darkness. I always promote, and it's in conjunction with Venus and Mars, so could be also dark in the sense of uh, and is working something that is there, whatever is for you or for your surrounding or a relation with the masses or your work. So it can be also like my voice sometimes gets very frustrated. Yeah, but my mind and my sun, which is the sun is your is the star of your own constellation. Yeah, so being in the first house, my mind and my sun are quite like strict. My mind has this first main role to achieve this work, and nothing will take me out of this constitution, which is as well mental as a communicator, which is also, we would say, Mercury or Hermes, the communicator of structural rules, and is in connection, of course, with Uranus. Like, I don't know. So maybe I leave this in the air for my children. And Uranus is a planet. I'm talking about a planet. It has many moons, all the moons of Uranus, because the British have found it, and they also gave gave fundings to the astronomic school, so they have put characters of British literature. That was a big jump from all the Greek planets, later on put by the Roman Empire with the names of the Roman gods, which are the same ones of the Greek. They had adopted it in the same way it has been passed more or less to other mythologies around the world. And they also had taken them from Egypt. And who knows if the Egyptians took them from someone else. Maybe from Atlantis. Who knows? If in Atlantis there were the Titans. Those are questions. Or it was just nature itself. It's very interesting. So this is kind of like having an observation through things that are not true, but we would buy it or not. We'll say, yeah, I tune to that, or no, I don't think so. I have many astrologers because in India, that's what you end up with, and they did it for free. So it was nothing else to do. And as a teenager, I got to listen to many astrologers reading my chart, and the one of my daughter, Debbie, when she was 2.5. So I didn't agree with certain things. For example, very good astrologer. I like everything he said, but I didn't like what he said about my moon in Leo, because his girlfriend had a moon in Leo. And I was 22 years and a half. He was a British man, maybe he had the age of me now, and with white hair. He was the writer of the astrology in the news magazine of Osho Times. He was very good, and I thank him for his reading. And he taught me things for my daughter Debbie is to guide her through her education first, so she doesn't go into meditation or anything that is first to cultivate herself with the real world, which is the practical world. So she did her university and all this, and her marriage, whatever. So she could focus on her career and have her partner to help make a better world, both. So thanks to him. So you take and live whether you like or not, right? And there can be as much imagination, there could be as much truth as not. But you get to have a degree of a sound of what character could this be. Is to say you can have all these character traits or put this character into a certain situation and see how the voice of this character is operating. Woo! Still don't find Chiron, because they have put some new things in astrology. Some people read planet Cidna. So it's like, okay, that's great. I wish to have an astrologer to read my planet Cidna, because I love planet Cidna. I even put it on sticks as her second name, because it's a Nordic goddess of the Pole North, from the sea, under the sea, and it has also to do with the underworld. And they say the future is to be immersed. As people are evolving, they get more immersed and disattached from the civilization, which will continue, of course. As you can see, there are brutish forces that some people need. People need to learn these things that we have learned already through our ancestors already. So many of us already reached paradise and would never do the things other people do. So there are things I do not believe from some people who hold the Bible as if they are saints, and can be more damaging for the society. For example, when they talk about promiscuity, and but they help the husband to mistreat all the women in the world because they would love to make love to other women. So this is the way they get satisfied, because they are the only woman. It's a very twisted love affair and shadow affair, which many marriages have, but it does not mean they have a natural, long-lasting, happy marriage. They're just doing it because they are in a evolving mechanism to belong to society and escalate up from ancestors who have been always in servitude. Yeah. And now they are discovering other realms and getting to look the landscape of the world where they come from, right? So you will have people who are monks and can share love or not in different ways. And I'm not talking about intercourse, I'm talking about any form of love. Could be, could not. So it's stationary within you, wherever you go. Without the need to condemn any man or woman or anyone's activity, unless they are evolving to become a woman or a man, right? In the sense of, you don't need to change your sex, you do not need to rape children, you don't need to kill anyone. So what happens when you go immerse into another, let's say, could be meditation, or could be an internet, or could be with people that are like you share another language, every verse has its own voice. This is what I want to bring here. Every verse has different groups. Yeah, it's not like everyone is the same in the same verse. Of course, there's this thing like spider verse, multiverse, or Greek multiverse, but those are anomalies. There would be a group, but each universe has a unique character. Yeah, this would be other formations of another type that are yet to be explored as, as a bank of fishes, right? Is a group of a collective, but doesn't mean it's a universe where you have different groups of characters, like different planets within a galaxy. I still don't know how many galaxies are in just one universe, so it's way too much to ask right now. I'm getting a little bit the sound of that. My voice would sound better if I had people that could just do shopping for me and to do my wardrobe, do my makeup and my hair. That would be fantastic. And a chef, right? Uh, would love to do the hair of my mother, that's for sure. I always sometimes I like to touch her head because my mother has been my master. I've used to say everything about what my mother has taught me. So my mother and my Venus has in my, you can see in the astrological chart when you see your parents astrological chart or human design, you can see the composition of how it has influence. I see that I have influenced my three children a lot. Not only that, the three of them have my last name. I do see in Zane that he has a lot of influence from another source. So I don't know, it could be the father or a stepfather or another paternal figure. Could be. Or an institution which is from the masculine source, because you can also have from the feminine, artistic, and nourish plane. So it's very interesting to see that my three children have my last name. They have a beautiful influence from my part because it could be also traumatic. I mean, I wish to be a better mother as my mother was to me. But well, this is what happens when you are in certain environments that you belong to. You can run away from them, but you still belong to them. They are part of your relation through this existence and time frame in life. So it does have a voice. I study the character's voice when I am. It's called CS, case study, when you're studying the character and or just put things about the character. For me, I take it very seriously. I sometimes take 3 months to create a character, and some people just do the and that, start rolling with it. So I study the every minimal detail because my father was a writer and director, script writer and director, and he also direct behind the talents of politics as journalist of politics, critic. He was behind discourse. So he was a man of his word was gold. This can transform anything to reality. You can see that I have a strong connection with my father in the first house, with my son and my Mercury. Patricia also means the son or daughter of her father, which is kind of like Jesus. I mean, everyone has a father, right? I hope it is as a human collective that we can see each other as sisters and brothers and see that we are composed, especially in these times that we're going through. So, talking about what is inside, talking about the inside of this galaxy, from the inside of myself, and these tones, these tunes, these sounds. If you play music, how tight are these, or how loose are these chords, vocal chords, and you get to grasp. When you speak different languages, you get to see the difference of how you have to work chordals who've never been some other languages you have to pronounce the R, things like that, which other languages would never make the four unless they live there, because it's very hard to adapt, adjust, tune those chordals, because it needs exercise and a lot of performance knowledge, sound intelligence of the ear, right, of the sound. You need that form of intelligence. So we have this many intelligences, and with the tune of the voice, and then being heard, having ear. You can copy what you hear immediately. Birds are on the roof, probably flirting, because they are like moving a lot their wings, flapping their wings, and running around. Well, it could be me right now. Well, so there is a sound for each character. There is a music, a melody is when you are picking the soundtrack of a chapter. It doesn't mean the character is always under the influence of this soundtrack. Sometimes they have lower times, sometimes there is action. My roommates in the sky. There they go. Free. Sorry for disturbing your privacy. I was listening. There you go. Well, that's it. I don't know much about astrology, so this is another planet. I don't know what it is. Could look for it. So it's positioned right on Gemini, but it's right on the line with Cancer. So it doesn't go straight from my sun, which is the opposite of Capricorn. It's Cancer. it goes redirected, but I make that. I don't know if that's in astrology, but it goes redirected. So the story could not be seen as it is unless you are there. Don't know. It has an influence or is undercover, and depending which planets. Some planets, like Uranus, is not a planet that you can see because it's an idea. Also, is a form of gas, so it doesn't have the material to be seen, yeah, or grab, or have a grip of it, unless it is brought up to reality. It's a construct to major leagues, of course, because it does exist already. All right. So there are two twins who in Barcelona who were born in Argentina, and 1 week ago uh, they jumped from the building and to commit suicide. One died, and the other one is maybe would survive because of bullying. So when of these robots could help for whistleblower because nobody cares. This information could go to their intelligent form, and it could help to avoid bullies or people who are suffering. And I would stop that all the time, but there is no people who really have a hard lion to stop certain things because people want to be part. Everyone will follow or silence bullyings, and it's not needed. These things are not necessarily. Also, people from Argentina are very well educated, sometimes even more than people from Barcelona, whom are very racist. The people from Barcelona. I lived there for 6 months. Uh, um, I lived with my boyfriend, Carlos. I mean, they were cool. They would always be in Formentera, an island from Ibiza. Doesn't mean that everyone is the same. Kind of like it's difficult to deal with other cultures. Um, I think it's worth it too much. These things are happening and people don't have love for one another. So there was no voice for them to be heard. There were children. There were families of immigrants. You should never see as a lower class or minor, and no one deserves to be treated badly if it's different or is learning from your culture. It doesn't mean you are better. This other culture might have things you don't have, perhaps. That's to be a cultured person, which the lowest crap would never understand. Perhaps their family became middle class, but they were always the lowest class in every aspect. Because you could have people who are low class and have a heart of a crown wherever they go. And some would stop and twist to have a position. They were never. But it is in the collective and the group that these things happen in the environment until we learn. So artificial intelligence could help with these robots just to report in works, when I was in the trial, I wanted to have a program, it is a program, and I had said it in court, and I said over and over at work in McDonald's, to have an algorithm where we could just, so nobody gets fired, and can compute it can compute the answer to respond to whatever I could do. I have done the research and I have done everything as possible. I have tried to reach everywhere, but nothing, because of the people that work. Is not the design, it's not the reality. So I give the answer for how could it work, and that's still standby. It's a brilliant work I did for the mechanism of the human interaction within each restaurant of McDonald's, and knowing with the locality how it's working to recycle, and how we teach people to just divide paper, plastic, and compost, and how everyone has these three words that are the words that work from all the words that I have studied, and seeing how people respond or react, or why this doesn't work as well as when I say this. And all this has been documented, noted, and I have seen the benefits of its work, which is a human mechanism within the workers and the customer, so it does recycle. Not only that, we need to report all the things that we need, and then see the scheme of how we're going to get there, so people don't go crazy. I mean, you should go crazy and wild, but not when you're trying to work and do something good, right? So you bring spaces, which it doesn't exist, because the common populace is hungry and cannot think well. I don't know what. They cannot even approach to me when I am 2 years and 6 months trying to pass my work for role playing to virtual reality. And when I say in the real life, it's because I have seen the benefits as well. So they are voices that we carry, that are interactions. So we make people work in a certain way. If these plays are being rolled, right? It's not just observing a product or doing this. It is to help recycle. So it is. And there are specific words that work together, and they always have good response. Then others, some would react, like people would react shouting, not only black, also white. Normally white male with a belly, or married in their 50s, 40s, without a belly as well. An older male, white male, is in that category as well. Some it's just once in a while, but there's a group already. And also black, some teenagers. They want to be rebellious and cool and fun. Some, don't tell me what to do. They are always being told what to do. Right? There's not the spirit of making a better world. Well, everyone does work to 80%, And I had started to see through 3 years, because that's what I thought to go in McDonald's, see how could it work, this recycling thing, which I had studied in boarding school in Devon for recycling. I was my teenager years here in United Kingdom. This school was made from OSHA's belief, where we had to learn through activities. It's a long story. It was very interesting to hear Jordan Peterson talk with this person about these schools they were doing. It remind me of my education in here in United Kingdom, in the boarding school. It was accepted through the Ministry of Education, and that's where I learned not history class, but actual history for the problems that we have to learn in order to upgrade ourselves or help fix. So if you want to learn history, if you're interested in history, you can do that when you're an adult, but not to traumatize you or grow up thinking you are that, because we are okay. We have more or less everything we need. We don't need to think we are that. That doesn't exist. So why promote that? Yeah, supposedly. We can later study more into it if we want to, but it's not a requirement. We need to learn other things that have more value, especially when we're growing up. Not about sex, what sex you are, gender. So we're loved and have our senses without saliva or penetration and are evolved enough to know what is what, coordinate the authority to say yes or no, to coordinate yourself, right? So, well, that comes sometimes by an intuition that has been formed from an emotional field that is intelligent as well. But that emotional field is not been programmed. It's because you cannot understand where it comes from. And from far away, from kilometers far away, even if it does not belong to your system or modum operandus. So you have that time frame to prepare and do that zigzag. That's why that was so important to create that zigzag of, well, I have a lot of ideas I'm giving free, and I'm only asking for one to have a percentage that was for role playing to virtual reality. And so it would help a lot to have this other algorithm that can do the zigzag as it does in the website for the anonymous that is called Treasurous. This is a beautiful website. My father would have loved to see what's going on today. He would he would be like, I guess, all over the net, surfing like a lobster. Oh, sunshine. I mean, just like that, really. And with a mustache, of course. So, oh no, I have it on another folder. I put it on a folder of environment because the synonymous freetreasuros.com. Boys. So this is a website that has an algorithm, I guess it is. How you call this? And it will give you the branches of the synonymous, and it branches out from those words as well, more synonymous. And you can click on it and it will branch. So this genius website that has been created through centuries and so many people, and now these computer engineers brilliantly, is a celebration of genius, what we're living right now, and the culmination of everything this everyone has fought for so much and tried to bring together. So, well, I have to be in person to explain this because it has to do also with how we think as role players, with the zigzag of these keywords. There is a mechanism to it as well. So that could also help for artificial intelligence within its how is getting this information together and using its intelligence to form that conversation back. So the voice here, it says above on the top says tone, a tone, which is split with sound, language, articulation, power of speech, voice, the tone. British have the most beautiful tones, really. You will know about the tones each language and culture has, what characteristic would play. So if it's more from the heart, it is more from the mind. Maybe it's more grounded, or if it changes, depending to whom. The other one is instrument. Mouthpiece, it splits with mouthpiece, intermediary, spokesperson, organ, vehicle. Below is say, input, comment, vote, decision, view. On the other side, below is utterance, expression, words, airing, vocalization, verbalization, and below down is opinion, desire, wish, feeling, will, opinion. Oh, so that's what these words I will try to study for this week, which is the inner voice. They have a lot of therapy groups just about listening to your inner voice, which is hard to see where it's coming from. Is it coming from your culture, from the program it's been given to you, the construct of what you have chosen to be? Because sometimes you are so much because you don't want to be like your father. So you are bringing back the DNA relationship between the opposites that your family has been always relating through. More or less, it splits through brothers and sisters, not everyone, but from one side to the other, but you know it from the distance. It's happening around you in your environment. Sometimes repeats, and you get to see it sometimes on a third, fourth generation, but you get to see it. Or if it's stronger directly. So, well, I hope everybody has beautiful messages from reality to reality and to what reality you want. If you want to enjoy in a slower mode or get everything to work faster, you know the direction of affairs. And what is your message? So we have interest and we have multiple values to explore, and at the same time, if we want to be on the top of the cream, bringing a good cake to be eaten. Just to close with a little bit of nonsense. Um, could make sense, right? Why not? If you know you're never gonna die, you're like an infinite cake of desire to be eaten all the time. Source of energy that is tasty and sweet and produce a lot of parties around. Whatever some envious people think is illegal or when it's not. To be happy and celebrate. So, well, I'm glad to see Boris Johnson fighting for his rights to party. It's nice to see Rishi Sunak performing his work. Boris Johnson can deliver a lot of work already as a former prime minister, which I think United Kingdom needs to, in the light of the event, to bring peace, a better world. Boris Johnson and Sunak can help to mediate, as he was asked, with the knowledge of his finance for Russia to pay what he has destroyed. Can't pay the people who have been dead, but it. I mean, Americans should pay also, because they have triggered that to happen by investing. But we are all learning together, so I hope we can all invest so we all together get out of this and help other mediators, help all those who are expressing. I would love to pick as a dream influencers so they can do mansions into villages, get to see the spiritual world, how they do as well. Just as part of a communication, whatever is Christian, Jew, Muslim, shaman, and what's been worked already, which has been a lot. So we can create a flow of this, not so it becomes an hotel, but a center where they can be invited until they start creating, and they are also part of helping to create mansion into villages, as they have helped to bring better communities where there was nothing, to keep performing. It's not a political thing, but it is social with the spirit. So it has a gift to provide shelter, also spiritual, and we need to hear to these stories. We need to keep our north. So yeah. Yes, we love to help people and learn how Melinda Gates, Bill Gates, they give credit to these people in Africa and India, to women. I don't know how they give credit. I have no idea about these things. I would love to learn how they do this to help influencers to show how they do. mansions into villages, how they get to pick a village around the world and make it fashion because anyone can do that with their own entrance. We'll have to learn. I don't really want to travel too much for this, but to see other people doing it. Uh, just love to study about many things as always, and children grow, take care of them. The things that you do in your private life that you like to. So that is my voice for today. To these girls, well, I hope one survives. It's always gonna miss its twin. So it doesn't matter as long as her body can recover. Just my prayers to this Argentinian twin who has survived. They were terribly bullied. So from so much hatred you would or kill someone or kill yourself. So I had a borderline bully on roleplay for 5 years. I mean, I had many wars and fights, but they were all in storyline. So in character, you keep your creative, and everybody gets rolling. So whether you like the end of the story or not, there is always more creation to be done, and of course, imagination rules when it's brought to the air of reality of the interplay in role play, which might seem a dream, but is a collective share of stories. There's people creating books and actors performing. You're the director and an actor and an observer at the same time. Villain, a good person, an innocent, vulnerable character, older, younger, male, female, get to experience and learn from the variety of other cultures and timelines. All right, they do have their voice. They didn't speak like in Spain. They talk also Shakespearean, and still today they talk with that classic tone. You can tell when you come from an educated background because you are using these older terms, or your country has not evolved as much because you are talking like in Colombia and Venezuela. They have a lot of quotes that they used to say, sayings from the older times. They don't say that in Spain anymore. And they are European sayings. They also have these sayings from Greece to England. I don't know in other parts of the world so much. Like, but these are saying they know more. They have been for 500 years talking as when they first came. So you might find it peculiar. The in South American they still have not in the city, but out they have these old sayings, and but they have thousands, not hundreds, thousands. I had a friend Blanca who knew them all, and they're very popular in Venezuela. It's not my thing, but I love them. It is funny. I wasn't really raised there just when I was 7, so maybe that's why. So it's not part of my vocabulary, voice. or what I would choose to from my family. And well, I'm gonna go and see what's out there in the internet. I hope my kids could get to enjoy with the generation, because I can't wait to see them grow up and see what their generation are doing. If this work has advanced, so has advanced. I have not. I have in my 5-year agenda. 5-year agenda. Bill Gates says that we should think within a frame of 5 years, and we focus on it. I have worked a lot for my formula to happen, but there is a bee here and a flower. This one is for Alice, and I want to have the same. I wish to write to Honobishi so they have beautiful touch of pattern for a boy, but I guess these boys don't like to do this. And it's like Chinese calligraphy paper. So you can use watercolor and it can suck a lot of water, and it's very thin at the same time. So I can draw for the next 3 years on top, because I'm on the 2nd year. So I have not done anything in many pages, in many past days. And I thought to do it when I am with my children. So it's part of the plan. And to write more, because I would love to write. So let's say I am with them next year, I can write how happy I am with them. So anything that I'm not saying here, I am leaving the space for that, right? And these are the years. Of course, I try to do something. I never stick a newspaper, but this one could be taken out. All right. So you can have a rational form of thinking and say, I'm having this meeting, this is what I do, I have all this meeting is to do and attend, and I need these things and that. So I have nothing right now. Well, I have a lot of planets on Earth, and I have no planet that has water. So I need water. My mother is double Scorpio, so she has water. She's very warm, so that's nice. So it's beautiful. Sometimes you're just nothing, and everything that flows through you is because you're a channeler. You're empty inside, just channeling all this water that is not you. Just to say, could be air, fire, or any other element. Just creating a story here with what one is voicing out. So it's very nice to have an agenda sometime in these parts of the year where I can write about shopping lists, to do this and that, to call someone to do this. That was the King Charles and the leader of China, wishing them good prosperity. So, well, that was the 22nd of the 8th, Charles, because Charles asked for 2022. It was heard the way it sounded. It was beautiful to see that we have mixed feelings, mixed information. There are a lot of things going on. It doesn't mean that it's just this is what's happening, right? So it was very interesting when Boris Johnson was the prime minister. It's great to hear that. Well, I would love to be able to be more pragmatic. So just prayers, because I don't know what I could have to deal with on a working, familiar, on any level. Until better outcomes start to roll for everyone. And we can surrender from the wanting to hold power, sadism. That's very one has to understand these sometimes they are silent emotions. They are very silent underground voices that have no sound at all. It's suspense. So I guess some people need some action in their lives. Um, Today is the 6th, right? So the 6th. Hope I can do a little drawing, get some pattern to make something better on my life. Would be nice to not have to talk so much about the same thing. So other people have found their inner voice. Ah! Yes, and their creativity. It's interesting when people are taking action of their lives, they're already having that thrill. They don't need to see drama online. They can be posting what they're doing, like mansions into villages or moving green energy, the problems they have, a little dance here and there. So being immersed and disconnecting from these other things, but at the same time being responsible in order to face if we can do something about it, or have find the source, or keep praying, and both. So somebody wants to invite me for the coronation of the king, I will voice it out to the unknown. Bye.